Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is something different. I'm doing some sewing related stuff today. This project does take a little bit of an intro to what it is actually and why I even do this. Anybody who knows me personally would know that I lost my grandmother less than a year ago as of the filming of this video. And as a kid, I'm sure like probably many grandchildren, my grandma was the best. She was absolutely the best thing ever. She could do anything in my eyes as a little kid. Obviously, as I grew up, I knew that she couldn't do anything, because nobody can do everything. But one thing that she could do, and she did do for my family a lot, was she'd patch our jeans. She was really great at being able to patch them so we could keep wearing them, so we didn't have to always be buying new jeans. Because as farm kids, we were out and we did a lot on the farm, and our jeans would get ripped. They would get holes in them. Anybody who has spent any time working on a farm and working with feeding animals and all of that would know that it's not pleasant to have straw and hay and corn and any kind of grain in your boots. It's really annoying. And it can be really annoying is you can get this tiny piece of straw in there that's like razor sharp. It's sharp as a needle. And if that gets in your boot, it can be really annoying. So we hated having holes in our jeans because it just made it that much easier for all of that stuff to get down into our boots. So we'd bring them to Grandma to patch. And she did a really great job on it, and she could fix just about any hole. So one year after I'd gotten out of college, Grandma had been losing her sight and she couldn't do it as much anymore. So I decided, you know what, let's keep this going. And I had her teach me how she did it. Obviously, I could have probably figured it out on my own, but it made it so much more special that Grandma taught me. So in today's video, my family has compiled quite the pile of jeans that need patching. So that's what I'm going to do in this video. I'm going to patch some jeans. I should probably actually explain what it is I'm doing here. This is an old pair of blue jeans that we decided it was not worth patching again. So because it's used denim, it's better to do patching with used denim because it's already kind of been pre-stretched. So these have already been somewhat torn apart, and I'm just kind of going through and determining what is actually a useful bit that would be worth keeping to use as patching material and what is too worn. So like this it's pretty threadbare and it's not worth saving. Like this is also pretty threadbare up here, but this patch piece is still good. I can reuse that. Part of me kind of feels bad I'm cutting up Grandma's work, but I think she'd be happy that I'm able to reuse. So this would be like the third time now. Once I use this piece, this will be the third time that this particular piece of denim will have been used. The original jeans it was made of, the patch, and then it'll be another patch in the future. The rest of this, I don't think it's worth saving. Just throw. Knees usually wear out the quickest, so I'm not even going to bother saving this. Most of this is pretty faded and worn out. Yeah, and especially if you look on the back, it's like really faded. I really don't think most of this is worth saving. The backs are usually really good material because they are not as worn as the front, at least for barn jeans. The backs are almost always 100% good to save. All right, that is all of the most recent stuff that I have cut up. So now I should probably kind of sort through the scraps that I have, because I decided to put them in a new container because I had them in a small box and it was not working anymore. I need to go through and just kind of resort these so that way I can find stuff when I actually start working on the actual patching part. So once I got all of the sorting done with all of the different patch pieces I had, I started going through all of the jeans to figure out what they needed to be done. So I'm going to kind of explain my process through this. I checked over each pair of jeans to see what it would need, and then one thing that does have to be done with patching jeans is that you do have to take out the side seam if it needs a patch on the leg somewhere, like lower thigh and down. The seam does have to be pulled out. So that is what I am doing here. If a pair of jeans has a seam that is actually double seamed and you have those 2 rows of stitches going up and down the leg, that is not the seam that you want to rip out. You do want to rip out the other one. Some pairs of jeans have both pieces of denim seamed together on the end, and that would also have to be ripped out as well. So removing the seams is a bit of a process and it does take a little time. I have stabbed myself several times during my days of patching with the seam ripper, so you do want to be careful to not stab yourself. What is it with James and having pocket holes?
Like in the pockets or outside the pockets? Oh.
Because I'm pretty sure these are all James's. All right. So the way I have this sorted is this is like some pocket pieces that I decided, you know what, why not save? I can use them somehow, maybe. Black down underneath. This is mostly like thinner material, thicker material, and underneath this pile as well is some like new denim material that before I would use, I would want to wash a couple of times at least just so it's not brand new, because when you put new denim on old denim, when you wash it, the new denim is going to shrink and rip out, and then you've just destroyed your new patch. So my grandma, when she taught me how to patch, oh dear. I'm going to need to pull out the seam on this side too, because this is getting pretty rough. I might as well just put a patch on there since I'm doing it, because this is going to wear out pretty quick. But anyway, this is a thicker material denim. So I'm probably going to want some kind of a thicker type material. So that's going to be kind of these piles. Grandma was also really big on trying to match colors as well. I'm not as much on that, but all right, this I would say is a good color match. I would say do a decent sized patch, because then also this is starting to wear out. I might see if I can find a bigger piece and just do all of this, which means I'll have to rip a bunch of this out too, because this up here is wearing. So I need to find a big piece. Here we go. Now here's a big piece, and it's a pretty good match color-wise. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to cut a piece cut off this edge because I'm not going to use that. I'm going to cut a piece that goes all the way up here because this is getting pretty threadbare. So I'm going to cut it around here. Cut it across. Now I'm going to need to trim it along the sides so that way it's the right width to fit. And since this comes out, I'm going to do it about here. Do it at a slight angle. It's still pretty straight. Now this is something that can be used for like small little things, so I'm totally going to save that. So that is going to go on this leg to cover up all of this. So for right now, I'm going to just stick this in the pocket here. Now this side. This piece that I found earlier might work pretty good. I am wondering, it is getting pretty threadbare in here as well. I think it's all right for now, but I definitely want to put something here because this is going to wear pretty soon, I think. I might save this for right now just because time. So I'm going to just set these aside for right now. Now I have to do that for all of these. Now this is one where something like the smaller piece would work. Just kind of put this on the back and then like do a little zigzag back and forth just to secure this so you don't catch all of the threads on the back. So that'll be something I can just stick onto the back. Good use of this small piece. Just need a little bit just so the threads aren't being caught. This is a little bit darker, so this I think will work. I'm going to do, so it covers up some of this as well. Let's use about half of this piece. Well, it's a little bit more than half. So that'll be for this hole. Anything else? Nope. Okay, now we're going on to the next step of patching up these jeans. I'm going to start with this pair. This one just has a little hole by the pocket and a big hole in the knee. So I'm going to start with the small one. This one just needs a little piece with the sewing machine. Now for the outside patch, I'm going to do something a little different. Denim does fray. You can see it on this piece. It does fray. It is going to fray. It's not like a knit fabric that doesn't shed. So the way I do it is a little different than the way my grandmother used to do it. She'd fold over the edges, but I guess in some ways I just couldn't be bothered. She also did not have a serger. So in order to keep them from fraying, she had to do that. But I have a serger. So I'm going to serge around all of these edges instead of fold them all over. Because then I can just sew along the edges and I don't have to worry as much about folding it over and sewing through who knows how many layers of thick denim. Barely had enough to finish that. I still had a pile left to finish, but that would have to wait for another day before I could finish that. So I lost audio for this section. Basically, what I discovered in this second sitting of working on things is I did not have enough thread. So I ran out of black thread to finish doing the patching. And at the moment, I didn't have any, or at least I didn't think I had any. So I would need to get some more thread before I could finish this pair of jeans. I just managed to finish that one that I was holding. All right, this is the third sitting of working on these jeans, the third weekend, not consecutive weekend. So it's taken me a while to actually do this. But I have new thread, the machine is threaded, so it is time to hopefully today finish these last half a dozen or so pairs of jeans and get them done. I absolutely detest crotch holes. They are the worst to fix because there's so many thick seams in this area. Turning these pieces can... Oh, I dropped another pin. Back up, I'm getting off to the side. Okay, now... This is tricky because it's around the zipper, trying to get this all, oh no, that's not the zipper. This is like the very center point where all the seams in the crotch come together, so it's like really hard to get around there. So I'm just trying to work around dozens of layers of fabric at this point. I think this is one of those jeans that I will not patch again if there is another crotch hole, because this has been fixed once, if not twice before in this area. Oh. And it is just not worth continuing to fix. Come on. Okay, that's lots of layers of fabric right there. All right. These are not really the prettiest, best looking patches that I do. These are all work type jeans, so it really doesn't matter that much if they look nice or not. Well, after 3 sittings, I got everything done. It was quite the pile. This is what I have remaining to be sent back to the farm. I was trying to remember how many I'd done, because by the time today when I was finishing these, I'd completely forgotten how many I've already done. I was trying to figure out, I think I did like 8 the first day and like another 8 the second day. And with this, it's probably close to 24 pairs. I might be wrong. Maybe when I go back and edit this video, I might be able to count up how many I did. I'm not sure, but it was a lot. Grandma loved patching jeans for us. It really helped her feel useful and needed in our family. I personally am not fond of patching. I don't really enjoy it, but I still love to do it because it reminds me of her, and she's the one who taught me how to do it. Someday I hope to be able to do it again on her sewing machine, which I was able to inherit when she passed away. So someday I will be able to do sewing on her machine, which is definitely vintage. It's not quite antique yet, but give it another 20 years and it will be antique. That's how old it is. But anyway, if you liked this video, feel free to hit the like button. And if you want to keep track of what I've been working on, feel free to hit the subscribe video. It feels really weird to say those things, but I think it helps with the algorithm, so I should probably start saying it just so the algorithm maybe promotes these videos. If not, oh well. Until next time, God bless. This would be way cooler to store my sewing stuff than this bucket.
And you have different type of
I could do one for like weaving stuff. I might paint them though, because
yeah, you can paint, you can write on them.
I think I would totally like paint them, because, and then maybe Like write something on the paint.
You literally could. You can.
This one, maybe if I like painted white over some of the stuff and left some of the designs, that would be pretty. But what paint would I use?
And that would be so nice if it did fit. Oh my gosh.
This can be my thread container.
That's okay. There's a winner. There's a winner. Thank you. Thank you. Good.
For now.
For now. For now. Okay.
So.
I'm just cleaning. I'm just.
Ouch.
Don't do that.
All of a sudden my back says, oh, you're standing up straight now. I'm going to make you hurt because you've been hunched for the last 2 hours.